pictures, and they all have something in common. So the one thing all these pictures had in common was that they were all disasters. Every household in the United States should have a disaster preparedness kit because every inch of the United States can be affected by a disaster at any time. Whether it is a tornado or the market crash or the zombie apocalypse. By living in California where a large earthquake can happen at any time, we need to be prepared for the worst. Being prepared for disaster is gaining media popularity through television shows such as The Walking Dead, Doomsday Preppers, and through public service announcements. By learning the best strategies, it will give you better preparation for disasters. First, I will talk about why taking safety precautions is necessary. Then I will speak about how to take safety precautions, and lastly I will communicate what should be in an emergency preparedness kit. First, I want to explain why we should be prepared. Fire, floods, firestorms, mudslides, power outages, and earthquakes. These disasters can strike fear into anyone. Living in Los Angeles, we are overdue for a large earthquake known as the LA Big One. It is a catastrophic 7.8 earthquake. LA County's Office of Emergency Management holds mock operations so that people are prepared for what it would be like. In an article posted on rawstory.com on March 21st, 2012, wrote that people need to understand what it's going to be like. Our life is going to change, said Margaret Vinci, head of the Office of Earthquake Programs. Margaret Vinci continues to state that the more you're going to be able to recover faster. This picture is of LA before the 7.8 earthquake, and this is what is to be believed what LA would look like after. If the LA Big One or the zombie apocalypse was to happen this summer, would you be ready to hold up in your house for 2 weeks? Odds are you won't be. 82% of Americans in an article posted in Consumer Reports in 2010 stated that 82% of Americans said they would survive just fine or with a little difficulty. Yet only 1% of those Americans had the 16 items deemed necessary to survive for 2 weeks in their home after a disaster. So now that we know why we should be prepared, I will speak about how we can take precautions before it's too late. An article published in Inside MS in June 2005 called Emergencies Happen explained, with planning, you and your loved ones can feel more confident. Being prepared is a process and a state of mind. It starts with being responsible for your own well-being. To being well prepared for disaster, you have to create an action plan. The first step to this action plan is to research the resources for your needs in your area. Most communities have an emergency management office or agency. You can find the agency in the blue pages or the government section of your phone book. The second step is to make an escape plan. An escape plan, everyone's escape plan will be unique and have different features. So every escape plan is individual. The third step is to establish personal support. Knowing that your friends, family, and neighbors will be there will boost your morale and help you handle one of the worst situations a person can be in. The fourth step is to be prepared and stock personal emergency kits. The kits that should be, there should be a complete emergency kit at your house, in your school or workplace, and a limited version in your car. Along with these 4 steps to being prepared, there are some ways to hazard-proof your home. Fire detectors are the best way to prevent a fire. You install them and test them periodically and change the batteries once a year. In case of power outage, have flashlights and with fresh batteries for every person in your home. And for earthquakes, you should The first rule is to stay inside unless the building is going to fall down or you smell gas. Then if the building's safe, you stay inside and turn off all the lights and avoid lighting anything with fire until you have been informed. Now that you have been informed about how to take precautions before a disaster, I will tell you what should be in an emergency preparedness kit. The items that should be in your at-home emergency kit is a battery-operated radio with extra batteries, a flashlight with extra batteries, a 2-week supply of portable water for each family member, a 2-week supply of non-perishable packaged and canned food, and a non-electric can opener, extra clothes, rain gear, sturdy shoes, blankets, sleeping bags, and a first aid kit. The items that should be in your car emergency kit are jumper cables, a shovel, a tire repair kit, and pump, flares, and a knapsack of the things that are in your at-home emergency kit. So now that we have talked about why we should prepare for any type of disaster, whether it is the stock market crashing or the dead coming back alive, we all now know to be ready and prepared for these unfortunate events. With that being established, perhaps it's time for me to wrap up. So in conclusion, you are now more informed about how to be prepared for a disaster of any magnitude. We never know when or where a disaster may hit, but hopefully after this speech, you'll be more prepared both physically and mentally. So if you're now panicking about not being prepared for a disaster, don't worry, because I'm going to help you get started with the checklist.